Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, and it's a very cold, chilly night down in Texas, but amidst cleaning and putting up Christmas decorations and going through the great joys of my beloved folks getting some surgeries done, so kind of like taking care of family and dealing with the holidays and yada yada yada. I've been a little busy lately, but I wanted to come on and do reactions to the gameplay showcases that Creative Assembly put out about Skulltaker and Golgag. While some of you may be like, whatever, I have received numerous consistent requests to react to these, so we're going to make sure to do that, kind of talk about everything that they show off, and delve into it a bit more. Obviously, we are hurtling, like, quite quickly towards the release date for this. We have not too much longer left, only about 6 days, less than a week. So let's go ahead and jump into this and see what we've got on order. We're going to do Skulltaker in this video, and then I'll do another video where we'll talk about Golgag, but I think I'm going to release them on the same day just to kind of like get them out amidst everything else going on. So let's go ahead and jump into Skulltaker.
What you're about to see is pre-alpha footage of Omen to Destruction. This was recorded months in advance, so there's still some placeholders in game. We're really hard at work right now and can't wait for you to get your hands on it at release.
One thing I will say,
deliberate, relentless.
One thing I do want to say before we get into this is that I have been so beyond pleased with Creative Assembly's communication for this dev cycle. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I wish they'd do things faster, yada, 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 which I get. You know, everyone wants everything immediately as opposed to having to wait. But the thing that really strikes me about this particular dev cycle is just how open they've been with the community of, you know, revealing little tidbits as we've gone through the development cycle for Omens of Destruction, showing off lots of, like, pre-alpha stuff, showing off early like concept art, showing off like the various units in like their kind of goofy behind the scenes T-poses, showing off footage that we're going to see here that's not quite finished. A lot of dev studios and CA in the past tends to be kind of allergic to showing anything that's not it has to be 100% polished, which I don't believe is true. I think this is actually better to kind of show people how things are coming together and allow people to really have a good understanding of the process of what makes up what they're purchasing, as well as what to look forward to. So I'm really glad they've done this, and I hope as we go into 2025 and whatever awaits us there, that they'll continue to do this.
The eyes of Khorne blaze down upon us, absolutely proficient in killing.
Also, because we're getting to see like a lot more of the actual devs, which is really nice. Why don't we turn on closed captioning? Uzul! Albric. Though it's not really Albric because he doesn't have his trident. That's an imposter. That's not actual Albric. That's someone wearing Albric's clothes. It's not Achilles.
The Skulltaker.
It's Patroclus.
The Cranium Collector himself and champion of Khorne. His presence in the known world.
That man's getting real familiar with that skull.
Champion, as he seeks out worthy champions to display their skulls on his trophy case of a cloak. Those unlucky enough to start their journey in Lustria will come face to face with him. Before we begin, if you're seeking a full list of updates coming with Omens of Destruction, check out our blog through the links below.
Obviously, we already covered that several days ago.
At Hualotl in the Guanji Valley, a beautiful sunny climate for slaughter. Skulltaker is first and foremost a fighter, with strong melee attack and the Blooded Wanderer trait, increasing his campaign movement range and line of sight, allowing him to focus his efforts on his target.
My only issue with him right now is I wish he buffed mounted bloodletters, the blood crushers, instead of just infantry, but maybe that's something they can fix in the future.
It was a modest result, which we raised for an additional Bloodhost army, expending our skulls in return for more momentum on the map. Our second attack was on Chakwe, and by this point, The lands have begun to bleed through.
I think you mean
our
Chakwa?
corruption. The distant roars of the lizardmen just north of us have quelled. The result of Bretonnian maniacs crusading through the jungles. But they've stepped too far into these lands, and they don't know what awaits them. And so, turn 8. We've made our first attack on Albrecht's faction, raising Zahatek and spawning yet another Blood Host army.
Skulltaker is a Khorne faction, so he abides by similar rules. You will be expanding towards your enemies, you will take over their settlements, you will sacrifice and raise them in the name of Khorne. However, we've introduced an interesting twist on this premise related to Skulltaker's Cloak of Skulls.
More on that in just a moment. We're playing a bit of a balancing game with our resources. Skulls provide us with Bloodhost armies, but we've got other uses for skulls now. Let's send one of our followers up to the settlement of Bragon to recover our lost skulls. It'll also provide an explode to Albrecht.
I'm not going to correct people on pronunciation. I have no right. I pronounce a lot of things wrong.
Be gone, Bragon. That was terrible, sorry.
It's French. It should be Brion. But,
Hello.
oh, hello.
Fine, I need the skulls. It's our first
The
encounter.
new blood hosts are so much better. The fact that they're free upkeep, oh, thank God. Free upkeep for those makes them so much better.
Skulltaker 60 points of champion essence.
As you can see the placeholder text.
Through our Cloak of Skulls mechanic. His army is big though, so for now we'll leave him to his ruins and target Laxland. There is another tasty Bretonnian skull there I can harvest, worth 16 champion essence. Bit of an easier target for us at this stage of our campaign.
According to lore, the Skulltaker is a duelist. What he usually does is when, for example, Khorne forces are besieging a fortress, he stands before the gates of the fortress on his own and he issues a challenge.
True.
Sooner or later, someone marches out to face him, and
Why would you send out a wizard?
you will see that each of them can
Hold up. Hold up. Who the fuck in the Bretonnian thing was like, there's a Khorne demon out there. Who should we send? And someone's like, send the prophetess? Shouldn't we keep her inside for, like, I don't know, buffs and maybe like hurling meteors at the enemy army? Nah, she'll be fine. She, a melee scenario against the really magic resistant demon, she'll be fine. Just
carries
go
a
out there.
different amount of champion
Dear
essence,
God.
which depends on their level of experience and on the victories that they fought. This is a
Ooh,
resource
lordy.
that you will gain once you face them in battle and you defeat them. And you will use this champion essence to enhance the skulls on the cloak. Each of the skulls
I love
give
the
you
Cloak of
different
Skulls.
Bonuses. You can unlock bonuses, you can further upgrade them.
Look
So
how-
this is actually
Oh my god, look at all those. You see so many, like, juicy things. Gain 25% of the experience of a defeated lord. That's insanely powerful. So, like, if you kill someone that's level 40, like, think about all the experience that's built up to get that character to level 40. You get 25% of that. That is an ungodly amount of experience, in addition to the normal experience you get for that battle. Replenishing extra campaign movement after defeating Lord, which is on top of the regular buffs that Khorne factions get for being able to replenish movement after winning battles.
bonuses, you can
Teleporting to enemy lords. And you can see, look at all these buffs just for Skulltaker. Bonus versus infantry, extra armor, extra melee defense, extra physical resistance, more corruption, more skulls. Skulltaker is probably going to be the biggest snowball character in the game. Like, if you get him fully maxed out, I think he's one of, if not the absolute most powerful character in the game.
For example, the Cloak of Skulls ability increases
I mean, look at that.
armor and missile resistance, as well as
Immunity to
bonus
flanking
flanking.
is so
My
good.
original Bloodhost armies are clinging on by
I mean, that means you have your max melee defense in all directions. Because normally if you get hit in the side, it's reduced by, I think, 20%. If you get hit in the back, it's reduced by 50%. Skulltaker's like, nah, fuck that.
Another tasty skull worth 16 essence points. That'll take us past our threshold for the next skull on the cloak. I don't think I can turn that down. Let's give chase.
I really like the cinematography they have in these videos. Like these show-off videos. I wish I knew how to do any of that, because I don't.
Exceptionally good on the charge. They've got armor-piercing damage, they induce fear in their enemies, and they have a particularly cool animation. Particularly fun to use against
the
goblins.
cannonball. Yeah, those, I feel like the blood beasts are going to be a little
I
tricky.
hear rumors of goblin armies up in the old world. Perhaps a good spot for some champion hunting. Perhaps even a Carl-Thartic trip. I'm sure he's the official 100th legendary lord. That is decided, right? Skulltaker? 100th? No one's going to question me.
I don't think that's, I think Arball's technically the 100th.
Marcus is making his way down.
Well, whatever. What do I know?
Let's move out the way and get some recruitment going for a welcome party.
The Khorne in comparison to the Pestigors and Zangors, bring forward a more aggressive, hard-hitting role. They feature all the best benefits and qualities of...
So these have obviously changed quite a bit from this footage. As you all know, you've seen the battle embargo has dropped, so we're showing these guys off in battles now. Where originally it seems that they were meant to be far more of like an aggressive anti-large unit, and that was like their sole purpose, was an anti-large unit that got up in your face and kicked the shit out of you. Whereas now they're a true halberd unit that's still much more aggressive than traditional halberds, but they still have all their charge reflection and charge defense against large instead of whatever that broken shield icon is, which is pretty good. Like, it's not necessarily like that crazy for Khorne, because Khorne has the benefit of having Chaos Warriors with halberds and Chosen with, I think he has Chosen with halberds if I remember right. But who these guys are amazing for is the Beastmen, because the Beastmen do not have a mid-tier halberd unit. they have like the Regiment of Renowned Bestigor and Ungor Spearmen, and that's it. That's all they got. So Khorngors are like amazing for Beastmen.
And when they've taken
Pretty good for
enough
Khorne, though.
damage, their ability will trigger, which will further enhance their melee prowess.
Alberic's forces are skulking around our lands. He'll likely regrowing strength.
Brits like
from a high
puns too much.
population of skulls north of us.
Too many.
I think we'll find that
too many puns.
I have something in mind for when Alberic is worthy of my attention, but let's also arrange some backup.
The Bloodspeaker is a new lord that plays a supportive role for Khorne.
Bloodspeakers are nice. I like
Units
support
around
characters a
him,
lot.
And when mounted, he adds that mobility.
In order to boost
You know, he's your
our
lord level
we're going to
cultist, which is good.
Skull Throne, a new mechanic for Khorne
Love
that
the new
lets us
Skull
spend our
Throne.
harvest
Looks
of skulls
really
on more
nice.
campaign buffs.
Being able to
Once
choose
unlocked
what
once
buffs you
each
get is
episode,
very, very
once Malthus
nice.
is defeated, I'll probably reduce my spend on blood hosts and begin building my way up the throne. For now, I'll select Blood Ex Nihilo, which spawns us 2 extra units for our new blood host.
I'm still not necessarily convinced that like that highest tier. I don't know if that's what they're going to end up going with for the final build, but I feel like 8,000 skulls to just like instantly spawn a blood host is not that great. I feel like it should do something more exciting, but
Blood may be for the blood god, but today, the skulls are for our cloak.
oh, look how good that looks. Oh man, been a while since I've heard the Khorne trailer music. I would sell my soul for this to be the music that actually plays in game. I hate that the composer for the trailers gets to make like all these super badass tracks, and then when you play the actual video game, the tracks are so much more mellow. Like, why do we not have this music? Like, could you imagine this playing when you're out there like murdering everybody in the name of Khorne? It's so much more fitting. Oh, Wolfheart. I love the editing on these videos. They're so nice. Like, it's a nice mixture of, like, just cool showing off, but also being informative and, like, showing what the experience is kind of going to look like. Just that obnoxious lizard skull.
Just fully unlocked my target tier, giving us the ability to teleport
When this
soldiers
is,
to he deems worthy.
look at that. Ability to travel, 50% less travel cost, and then minus 5 turns on travel turn. So he must have a pretty good long cooldown for that. But what I will say is that I am really looking forward to when we could talk about campaign stuff in depth and really like go through all of the nitpicks behind all these skulls. Because if you notice in the top left that all of them have stories, but obviously want to wait until they've finalized everything and there's no placeholder stuff. But I'm really excited to dive into all the new lore that's going to be added for this game.
Raiding my settlements and attempting to recover his dignity. He's doing fairly well.
Raiding?
Oh, he's taking back
But if he's raiding, he's going to lose chivalry points. I think you mean sacking.
96
Which against
points of
demons, he
access.
might be able to get away with.
I think it's time.
It's not very chivalrous of you, Alberic.
Before our attack. we
So
will
okay,
utilize
so
the skull throw.
so we see here that the teleport has a 10-turn cooldown, which is pretty long. But if you decide to spec that skull, you can get it down to 5 turns. How long? Okay, there we go. So I mean, the cost isn't that much. Granted, you want every single point of champion essence you can get for upgrades rather than spending them on teleports. But I mean, cutting the turns down in half, that's really nice. That's awesome.
We'll utilize the
That's a good
skull
buff.
throne one more time. We've amassed a hefty pile of skulls and can replenish our army to its full health.
That's so good. That's a great buff. Instant full health? Hell yeah. Ugh, that's so scary. I always love that the juggernauts in this game vent steam out of their back when they charge forward. There's the real Alberic, unlike the one we saw earlier.
My favourite unit is definitely got to be the Slaughter Brute.
Look at that
It's
big
this
fucker.
large hulking creature that has very little that can stop it in combat. Very proficient in taking
Oh,
out its enemies.
oh. He's already dead! Jesus! The camera like popped him out of the ground. That's so
Sky
funny.
Anthengrim can be
I love they're showing off the unique kill animations for this. That's great.
It's going to be the last thing you hear, and he's very good at it.
Showing off the kill animations is really fun. Once again, ignore the stats and stuff. That's all that is most likely changed.
Scar Bloodwrath is our frontline
Grrrr.
hero. Self-revival and healing. He's going to be very difficult to take down.
Good old Scar.
The Wrathmongers is a unit that I feel the players will get behind, and that's primarily because of their weapons, the Wrath Flails, that enables them to deal devastating
Those are the most
slashes
bizarre
with
weapons.
hard,
They're
hitting
so
attacks.
weird. Like just a hunk of metal on a chain. I'd be fucking scared of it though, don't get me wrong.
The Skull Reapers are similar to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. While they have less armor, they are in no way less effective in combat. They are absolutely devastating against infantry whilst being cost effective.
I've been trying to get Alberic all battle, but he keeps flying around. This should trap him in position for us.
Yeah, that's a very nice army ability that they show off
Alberic
there.
all battle, but he keeps flying around.
Look at that. That is super scary. Lock someone in place for... I'm not sure why the duration says 5 seconds. But then there's another duration that says 34 seconds. I don't understand. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at there. Maybe that'll be cleared up. But yeah, just nuking melee defense and locking someone in place is always insanely good. Skulltaker is so edgy. I love how ridiculously edgy he is.
Initial meeting. But upon his triumphant return, he has only proved himself a more worthy opponent to the Skulltaker.
Honestly, Alberic with his insane anti-large.
Cloak of Skulls.
Oh, that's such a hard shot. That is such a fucking hard shot, dude. Oh, we're at the end of the video. Wow, okay. That went by a lot faster than I thought it would. That's a kick-ass shot. I fucking love that shot of Alberic just doing his best. Alberic looks great. He looks great. I just wish they would give him a unique voice actor. That's all I need for him. I'd also like a unique mechanic, but that's a video for another time. I've been working on a lot of proposals for changes to the game, but I'm trying to physically restrain myself from releasing all of it until after the DLC is out, because I just know the devs are going to be like, bro, like, what are you doing? We're in launch, like, we are in launch shit. Get your ass out of here. All right, so this is great. I love these. Like, even, like, obviously it's not a secret I have access to the game, but even with access in the game, these are super big treats just because of all the cinematic shots. You get to hear the developers talk about a lot of things. You get to see, like, kind of how what's really interesting about this is I think it provides the opportunity for y'all to see how much things change, like, even over kind of a relatively short period of time of just a couple, like, 2 to 3 months, of seeing, like, where things were maybe 1, 2, 3 months ago. I think like 2 months ago, probably. And like all of the, actually probably more like a month ago. But like all of the, like, how all the stats and abilities and like where they were thinking of doing with various units versus where they end up at launch. And seeing how much things change in response to like different kinds of feedback. Obviously, you know, when you hit a period where like we can get access to the game, we start preparing to make videos and all these things. And we're also providing feedback of like, oh, maybe you could change this real quick or change this real quick. And it's like this feverish, crazy shit for a good little bit. And I hope y'all enjoy the peeks behind the curtain. I really hope you do. And if you do, I hope you express that to Creative Assembly, either on like Twitter or their Discord or the forums. Not in like, I'm not saying that you should like brown nose them and kiss their ass and all that bullshit, but just communicating to them the kinds of things that y'all want to see from them helps more than I think anybody knows. Because, they're not psychics and they don't, they don't know when y'all like things or hate things unless somebody tells them. So, yeah, I don't know. If you really like these things, I would encourage you to make that known. But in any event, that's going to be the end of this particular video. I will go ahead and I'm probably going to go do the Gold Cloud video right now. But I will release them separately just because, I don't know, I feel like that's the right thing to do. And I'll keep this relatively short for me anyway. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you for Gold Bag and other stuff coming up, and take care.